Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindBody TV. Today, I am sharing about how to retrain your brain. Your nervous system, your brain and nervous system are really the governing power for everything happening in your body, for your health, for your mood, for your energy levels, for your genetics, because in the study of epigenetics, those cellular messaging systems are what determine what genes get turned on, what genes get turned off. Do your genes get repaired or do you deteriorate? Your brain and nervous system are the governing message system. So your immune system function, your gut functioning, what's your gut microbiome doing? It all has to do with the programming, the memories, the traumas, all of the set points that have been put in place in your nervous system. And the good news is we can change that. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And I have something really, really exciting to share with you that we are launching as of today for a short time that has to do with neuroplasticity and how to change your brain at the deepest levels. So welcome to MindBody TV. I am really excited you're here. I would love to hear where you're joining from. We are also in Instagram here again today. So hello everyone there. I'm in US in Durango, Colorado, and I'm always really excited to be connecting with our international audience. I'm so grateful that so many people are open to this work, are beginning to realize that we do govern our consciousness, our nervous system governs what's happening in our body. I have studied mind body medicine for decades as a physician, as someone who suffered with a severe autoimmune condition, and I've been fascinated by how much power we actually have over everything happening in our body, our hormone levels, our immune system, even like diseases getting turned on or off, like cancer, diabetes. We have the ability to shift everything that's happening in the body. And so when we understand that the brain and nervous system have neuroplasticity, meaning they can change, they can morph, they can rearrange themselves, it is a really fun way to do this mind body work. So we can change things at the root level. It doesn't have to be just treating symptoms. It doesn't have to be just getting the lab exam, the lab results, and then finding out what's wrong with me. We can actually tune into our system right here, right now, for information, for awareness, and to make corrections, adjustments, and changes. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Thank you for tuning in, sharing where you're from. Hello, everyone. So I'm going to jump right in. Where we have these, whether it's your identity, right? Like who I think I am, our body and our nervous system is holding us in a certain arrangement, a certain alignment. If we've had traumas, those get embedded mostly in the unconscious, also in the conscious nervous system, and it determines the stance, the arrangement we are in every moment. And so or even familial things, right? Like if your family has ideas about money and that gets passed on, it's held in your nervous system. And so several months ago, I went through a really huge challenge, and I had been recently introduced to this amazing technique, a tool where we can change the brain. And it's a art-based tool. I started practicing and I started using it, and I saw massive changes happen. And so I practiced this over months and months. I saw incredible changes happen in my relationships, especially my two most intense relationships in my life, with my husband and with my mother, where there'd been challenges for me that were like lifelong things I had no idea how to resolve. saw them resolve. I actually got this amazing bracelet by my mom just the other day as a surprise gift, and it's engraved on the inside, and it's got this really, really special, meaningful, powerful engraving. Like it moved my entire universe that she sent me this. It was so beautiful. Um, I have seen major, major changes in my body. I had this like fatigue after having my second child. Kind of always just felt like it'd be a good idea to take a nap. I was pretty healthy. I'm feeling good. Um, Major shifts in my hormones and in that fatigue where I feel like I want to exercise, I want to work out, I want to be active more, and started more regular exercise and like have fun with that. So major changes in my body, um, major changes in our like home, just so many things that healed that I had been working on for years and years. And with this neuroplastic process, it's a three-part process. And so we'll do some of this now. And then I want to share this with you because I did create a whole program based on what I've been doing to shift my brain and shift my nervous system, where I started seeing these amazing results in my life and my relationships. I put that together in a package. So I'm going to be sharing more about that in a minute. So the first part we've got to do is get clarity on what is actually coming up. And it's not, oh, my MS symptoms, or oh, my chronic fatigue syndrome, or oh, I have Lyme disease. Yes, that's what's going on the surface, whether it's an infectious disease or it's a genetic or it's whatever. What is it in my body that's keeping that from healing? What is it that's making that worse, that's keeping that and propagating that infectious disease or that genetic pattern or whatever the process may be? That's really where you want to look. And so the first thing is to go into, what am I feeling about this? And to develop that level of sensitivity where you can tune into the MPI, the most pressing issue that comes up when you have those symptoms, when you think about that problem or you think about that illness or you think about that person. Oh, you're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel it here, right? Somewhere in this being. And so tuning into where that is really your first step. So you can begin to do this here where we're on the live or listening to the recording. What is your greatest challenge that's been coming up in your life? Because I guarantee you it's linked into your nervous system. If it's something that's not resolving, taking care of itself, no matter what you do, it is linked into your nervous system patterns. So you want to begin to feel that, because you do have the ability to feel that and to find that. You just may have not practiced that before. So have a few deep breaths and feel your body. This is really where we begin to develop that awareness. Awareness is a superpower in the Instant Elevation program. There's a whole section just about awareness, because you can change your body and you can allow profound healing, but you have to get your presence here now first. And so in that program, I share the tools. How do you do it? How do you practice with it in fun ways you can do anywhere, anytime, to begin to bring your presence here, your power here? That's what allows the shifts to happen. So we've seen in neuroplasticity studies, your brain and your nervous system can shift very quickly. Within just weeks, we've seen entire old trauma patterns reorganize. We've seen familial patterns, like genetic stuff, repattern in someone's system. It's pretty awesome, right? So when you do the brain studies, and you can experience the change even more quickly, because even before the new railroad tracks get laid down in the brain and in the nervous system, you can tune into the new frequency and the new energy of it right away. So that's the first step, is like bringing my awareness into my system here now. So I begin to let in the real information that is under that symptom, under that illness, under that relationship problem, right? Like maybe you're just not having the marriage of your dreams, but you can't seem to make it change. Oh, I guess I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Or you have a lot of conclusions about the other person. Well, they're never going to be any better, so I've got to just deal with this. It's not even true, because everyone around you changes when you change. And if you change at this root level, right, at the neurologic level, the chemical messenger level, It is an electromagnetic shift. Like everyone will feel your energy different. They will feel your presence different, and they will feel different, which is even the bigger deal. Um, so what is the art-based tool? So the art-based tool is based on in your body, there's already an imprint for that neurologic pattern, right? So you've got like an arrangement of how that trauma got laid down in your body. So there's like a neurologic arrangement, the train tracks, the pathways. And through this art-based tool, we're using neurographic art, but we're using it in a very, very specific prescriptive way. You actually externalize that inner pattern. So you got this inner pattern, it's holding it together a certain way. Oh, I just can't be free. We actually allow this to be loosened up, opened up, and rearranged. And the three-step process I created using neurographic art as part of it is one of the most powerful ways I've found to access that inner little glitchy thing. Like I call it catching the fly with the chopsticks, where you're just experiencing like the fly is the whole room, right? The whole room is fly. You get this one tiny fly, but it's buzzing everywhere. It's driving you crazy. When you catch the fly in the chopsticks, that's when you really see, oh, here's what's causing this pattern. Here's what's mucking up my relationships. Here's what's limiting my money. Here's what's having me not succeed in my life, my business. Here's what's keeping this disease in place where I can't heal it. So that's really the main point, is like, how do I catch the fly in the chopsticks? How do I get that nugget? Because it's usually one thing. It's not 50 million things. Even if you've got 20 diagnoses, like I've seen people with multiple diagnoses. And when we move this one thing, they can all unwind. Your life and your health does not need to be a medical conundrum for you to like get into the hamster wheel of solving. You can resolve this at the root level to allow a major shift in the imprint, in your chemistry, in your entire physiology, and all the way you feel, the way your energy is, and who you begin to be. Okay, so that's really the first step, is like, how do we get into that MPI, the most pressing issue? What's underneath this? What's at the nugget? Because when we resolve that root, is really when we allow the rewrite. The second stage is the using neurographic art and some other mind body tools, where we are allowing that unwinding to happen, as within, so without. And so when we work on this in an external way, I never imagined this was so powerful, but it was massive for me, like more massive than anything. And it's access to me back to my power, more of my creative power, more of my healing power than I ever had access to before. So it just has deepened me so much. And then in the third part of the program, I created some EFT tapping, so you integrate the new consciousness. Because it's one thing just to like dump everything out and let it go, but how do we set up new neural pathways that hold the space for our health, that hold the solid foundation for us being a success, that hold the solid foundation for us being loved and cherished in our relationships? Because how many of you have had like, I'm going to make this change, then you get into another relationship and you're like, this is exactly the same pattern. It hasn't really resolved at the foundational level. Or, oh, I'm going to make more money, but then you're still struggling financially, just maybe in a different way or at a different level. And the same fear is there. It's because you haven't resolved those money issues at the root level. So when we do, and you're going to go into a journey, we'll do some work on this today, to go into those most pressing issues. It is not comfortable, you guys. Like, I will guide you through it. It's a really easy, short process. You can begin doing it on your own as once you learn this, because I do it all the time. But it's meant to be uncomfortable, because if those spaces were comfortable, they wouldn't need rearrangement. If those spaces were comfortable, you wouldn't have like barred them off and put a big wall around them where you haven't been able to reach them for 20 years. So we're going to open those spaces up Breathe through your discomfort and really allow a profound rearrangement. So, studies have shown that the brain, we think there are these patterns. And like if you have these traumas, we've seen early childhood trauma is very, very clearly associated with adult onset chronic disease. And can we change that? Right? I've had this trauma. Am I always going to be this way? Am I always going to have this? Am I going to have those negative outcomes? The answer is absolutely no, because your brain has neuroplasticity. It can morph, change, and form into a new arrangement. And so you have to just know, how do I work with that? What do I do with that? So, what are the challenges that have been coming up for you? What are the things that are stuck, seemingly stuck in place, that are like, I just can't make this change? Oh, I guess I just got to live with this. Some of the assumptions about what you think you have to live with may be so far from the truth. Even genetics, I've seen people resolve very severe genetic diseases and disorders. But certainly, like your marriage, your money, your symptoms, your energy level, what is it you're ready to change, and what's getting your attention? So once I started working with this tool, and saw so many amazing and powerful things, after the summer, we put together a special package. And so I created this in a program format with videos for you, very short, easy videos to walk you through this process for yourself. And so for the first part, actually, I just explain like why this works, what are you doing, and what do you need in order to be very successful. The second video is where you get into that MPI. Oh, oh my God, I never saw that happen before. Did you guys see that? Okay, we just had a little celebration on the screen. So thank you. What is the MPI? So we got marriage, work relationships. Yeah, these things will be like in your face and you just can't escape it. It's because you're meant to transmute it. And so in the second video, we're going to get drilled down to that most pressing issue of what is coming up for you. And you don't have to already know. I will guide you there. This is not about reliving your trauma. There is no need for you to relive the trauma. You're just going to tap into the spaces in you where it's located, where the energy is not allowed to move. You're going to start letting the energy move. Okay. So when energy moves, you have greater health. And so in that piece, we're now going to barf that out onto the paper through the neurographic art process in a really specific way that allows you to then transmute the energy. And so that is really the main key. Is you're not like medicating it, fixing it. Let's get better at managing it. You're actually allowing a transmutation on the deepest levels of who you are. Because what we've seen medically, it's not what you're born with or what your genetics say or what your history and memories and trauma is that's going to determine your health or your outcomes in life. It's who you are being. Who am I being in this moment? Am I being a woman who loves and cherishes herself unconditionally? Am I being a woman who says she loves and cherishes herself, but actually really doesn't? Am I being an individual who's willing to be in her human experience, no matter how uncomfortable it may sometimes be, right? Unconditional presence. Am I a person instead who's like, I just have to feel better and then I'll accept myself, right? Totally conditional. Who am I being? Because your nervous system is going to imprint on that. And the practices, the patterns you practice are what get laid down on the train tracks of your brain and nervous system. Uh, Health, energy, yes, that's huge. Disturbing eye issues, perimenopause symptoms, heart skips, anxiety are my main stressors. Yes, I've done the sit and accept it, but still no changes. So this is very different from transmuting it, which I'll bring you much deeper into in this short program. So we've put this neuroplasticity package, which is a new course I've created, it's not available anywhere else, into a bundle. And we've packaged it along with all of our other main 4 core programs: the Mind Body Solution for pain, the Mind Body Solution for anxiety and depression, the Mind Body Solution for chronic fatigue and illness, and the Instant Elevation Program. So we have the 4 main programs bundled together, and we added this neuroplasticity program because it's going to enhance everything you have done with this work. It's going to enhance anything you are going to do with this work. And it is a tool you can use on your own anytime, when you have major stuff coming up, getting your attention. It takes maybe 15 minutes. I'd say at minimum, maybe 10 minutes, I guess, if you give yourself at least 15 minutes. But when you first learn it, you want to give yourself more, a little more substantial time, maybe half an hour, to really go deeper with this process. Once you do it, it becomes very innate. You know how to connect with your system. You know how to get that out on the paper so that you can work with it, morph it, transmute it. And then the last part, which is like the third step, it's the 4th video in the program, we're doing EFT to specifically rebalance your nervous system to hold the space for this higher you. Who am I without a chronic illness? Who am I without codependent relationships? You do not have the capacitance to hold that. If someone took that codependent relationship away, your system would be like, you'd have cravings, food cravings, cravings for certain people. Tell me you love me, right? Like, don't just try to make yourself override that, because it is going to capture you. Your nervous system can keep you in jail. These patterns can just grab you and hijack you despite your best efforts, despite your best intentions. You've got to change the nervous system. And so you can use this very simple 3-step process to let this be smooth and easy, and to integrate that new level of, here's who I'm allowed to be now. I am allowed to be a person who loves and cherishes myself unconditionally. So through this process, we're going to dump all the old stuff that is at the core of this holding it together. We're going to transmute the system so that you're in a new alignment. And then you're going to upgrade, up level. What is the new frequency? Who do I get to be when I'm fully free? Okay, so the whole package is at drkimd.com/bundle, because we've bundled it all together. And we've steeply discounted the whole thing versus if you were to buy all of the programs and buy the neuroplastic package separately. We're not selling it separately. And I've also added a live call that I want to do with you to guide you deeper into this work, where we will do the integration there. And what I'd like to do in that live call is that you bring up, like, we really drill down on the MPI, the most pressing issue, and get to that root of whatever you're ready to go to today, whatever is ready to catharsis out of your system, so that you go even deeper than you've been able to go on your own. So for anyone who would like to join me for that live call and for this special package, it's at drkimd.com/bundle. So we will spend approximately 2 hours on the call. I wanted to give plenty of time for everyone to have their questions answered. I wanted to give plenty of time for us to really do some deep integration of, like, where is this disturbing eye issue coming from? Where is this fibromyalgia pattern coming from? Or whatever it may be, a relationship pattern, a marriage issue, beyond just our health, because true health and wealth are the same frequency and consciousness, and they involve all of these areas of our life. It doesn't matter how physically healthy you may feel. If you've got toxic relationships, it's affecting your body, period, end. It will affect your health. So we want to look at all of these things, and we want to bring them up, not get better at suppressing them, you guys. You do not want to just get better at managing, medicating, and suppressing, because we have the tools to transmute it, and you are that powerful, and you can go into those deep spaces and allow it to release. And so I would love to guide you on that journey. So we don't often do this where we open, for more personal work together in the programs. Usually they're DIY home study programs at this level, but I did want to open this up for anyone who's ready to invest in a major, major shift and a major opening, a major shift in consciousness, and a major shift in who you know yourself to be, because your body and your life circumstances are going to reflect not what you want, not your heart's desires. They're going to reflect who you are being. Who am I being right now? And so, how do I learn to be with that in a way that lets it move out instead of continuing to hold these energies in? So, change your body, change at this foundational level. Your nervous system governs your chemistry, your mood, your body, your genetics, all of your set points for money, for love, for relationships. And you can change this. So, I'm really excited to see. Who is ready? What are you ready for? And if you really could receive in a deep, infinite level, what would you receive? Can you speak to how we hold ourselves in the face of the massive crises going on in the world? Okay, thank you. We did not speak to that, no. So just like everything coming up in our lives on a more personal scale, the things that are coming up in our lives on a global scale are going to hit on the exactly spaces within us that we are ready to look at, that we are ready to open to, that we are ready to release, where you feel powerless to do anything in the world, right? Like, how can I impact the world? The only way I see is if I create a huge, massive foundation and do some great thing. And even that feels really futile. How can I impact the world right here with one breath? I'm just one person. The powerlessness, right? That comes up when we see the things going on a global scale, the hopelessness. Um, I had this video come across a few days ago, and it was this really horrifying story this woman was telling of something that was going on related to these global events. And I felt so much in my body. And because I've learned to transmute energy here in my body, it's not out there. I know it looks like there's billions of people out there that you're separate from. They're not out there. The world is in here. The universe is in here. Can I invest myself in getting better at being in here with whatever arises? Because I'm telling you, with the stuff that's going on right now, stuff's going to arise in you. And from powerlessness, we want to escape what we feel and go out there and do something. I have to fix it. Then I'll feel better. It can't work like that. It won't work like that. And the more we try to do it that way, the more we will see that truth, that it can't work like that, because it's not actually outside me. What comes up in me? And you can do this same neuroplastic process that is in the program videos on the crisis in the Middle East, or what's going on for my kid, right? Because where am I experiencing that? I'm experiencing it here. And I'm either avoiding my experience, which leads to more powerlessness, trying to override, make it go away, right? Escape, or I'm entering it. That takes great courage. That takes great presence. And that takes and requires you to cultivate great power. And that is how we shift the collective. You're not separate from it, you're part of it. But are you living in connection with it, which would require you to really feel your pain? We don't do that because we're like, I don't know what to do with my pain. It's so intense. It's so overwhelming. It's so extreme. The only thing I can do is escape it, fix it, remedy it, medicate it, or urgently run to try to figure it out. And that's where most of us have been spending most of our energy. And it's time to come back home. It's time to come back here now, where we can have real power, where we can generate real change. And so this neuroplastic bundle, neuroplasticity program, and the bundle we put together is an awesome, awesome place to start investing in the universe of you. And there may be a million reasons why you're like, well, I can't do it because. So are you going to continue to buy into your mind's ideas of why you can't? Or will you finally take action on the light of possibility calling you forward, because it's always here. It may be just a faint whisper in the background and you think, no, no, that's crazy thought. That's crazy. I can't do that. But what if you just pause for a moment and look, who could I be being that could shift the planet? Who could I allow myself to be? What actions could I take that deepen my connection with my inner world and allow me to change at that level and generate shifts at that level? That's the question you want to begin asking yourself. And am I bold enough to do that? Because I'm telling you, the mind's going to be like, yeah, I got other things to do. Vertigo. Yes, I had that as well. Very, very severe vertigo since after having my second child. That has also resolved. And it was quite a miracle. Many, many things in my body have resolved. Some are still in process that are really miraculous. And like I shared before, it was really, really powerful to see these major, major changes in my two primary relationships, especially with my mother, because that was always such a challenging one for me in like crazy ways. Really, really, really painful. And the fact that I shifted that, if that's the only thing I ever did in my life, will blow me away forever. And it was due to this process, this neuroplastic process that I had discovered. It was just a few months before that that I began working this process, working this process. Some things showed up right away. And every time I do it, I immediately feel better. And then some structural things showed up right away. And some, with further practice came over a few months. And it's been quite a wild ride. So I'm really, really, really excited to be sharing this with you. So I wanted to share that in today's broadcast. You are able to change everything. Your body is plastic. Your brain is neuroplastic. And at these deep, deep root levels of what you've known yourself to be, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter if it's been there for 60 years or 80 years. I know there's lots of different people in different ages in our community. It doesn't matter. It matters who you are being right now that allows you to make a new choice, that allows you to step into a new self. And that's what really begins generating the real physical, physiologic, circumstantial changes in your life, in your world, in our world, and in the human collective. So I'm really, really excited to be to be sharing this. I will share the link again for those of you who would like to join me for the live group integration call. We will be doing some very deep healing work in that call. For those on Instagram, you can go to my bio. For everyone else, it's drkimd.com/bundle. This is available for a limited time only. We have until November 1st. And this offer will no longer be posted. So, and we'll be doing the call shortly after that. So jump in, start the neuroplastic process. I am so excited to see what shifts for you. It will access you to your power, not like this is something outside of me and hopefully I can get it, maybe not. It is inevitable you will begin making shifts right away. You'll also have a lot of fun with the process. And I can't wait to hear what comes up for you. In the live call, I will guide you through the work so that you have the opportunity to ask questions, to go deeper, and to get my assistance on really drilling down even more fully on those spaces and places in you. There may be some things keeping you avoiding them. So on your own, maybe get 20% of it and maybe we could get like 90% of it. So let's see what's possible. And I would love you to join me for the live call. That'll be coming up in a few weeks. It's all on the page at drkimd.com/bundle. And I will just offer you guys this as we complete, is to find the courage to meet those deep spaces in you because they are unavoidable. The world is only going to turn up the volume on the things that are triggering you so that your avoidance strategies no longer work. And that is actually what's right about this. You may not be getting. It's a blessing. And as the intensity goes up, so will the resources. Open to receive them, let go of everything else so that you can really begin to engage in your evolution and your ascension because you are here to live fully. I love you guys. I am so grateful to have you here. Welcome the uncertainty. It's part of the process of the fear moving out. All right, I'll be here every week at 11 a.m. Mountain. We will be broadcasting live from MindBody TV with further tools to assist the body in healing itself, to create the foundation for a true medical system, to be in a space of love or above, which is the frequency that has been shown to initiate true healing, and to connect with the power from the inside out, our divine power, and release the old authoritarian structures of buying into power outside of ourselves. I'm so grateful and thankful. I'm really excited to be sharing this offer with you. This is all new. It has never been posted before. So you can go to drkimd.com/bundle to participate now. And I'm so excited to jump in with you for the live call and go even further. All right. Love you guys. So glad to see you here, and I'll see you next week. Bye.